Hey, what's up, everybody? I told you guys we would be getting a big bounce, and I didn't know it happened today, though. But this is a nice thing to see, and yeah, let's see if this bounce can get some legs and be sustainable. So let's talk about the price. Look at near up 11%. Let's check that one out. Um, so near, okay, so yeah, it looks pretty good. We got let's see. Okay, so this is your third wave. This will be your wave four, and or maybe four would end here, and then you have one, two, three, four, five, a diag. So if this can blast its way up and flag its way out, we may have a shot at getting the hell out of there because we have the divergence here, right? We slammed down, we came up, we took the low. Okay, so let's see. Do we have the divergence? Let's see. Let's go to the 8 hour chart. I've been liking that. All right. And there you go. You could see boom, boom, down, up. So there's your bullish divergence right there. We got five waves in the fifth. Come on now. And yeah, we got everything we needed to get. So we have one, two, three, and then we have four, and then we have one, two, three, four, five for five. I mean, I think this could literally be the bottom. I mean, it's really tough, especially for like somebody who does YouTube, a content creator, to come out and say, "Yeah, the bottom is in," because if it's not in, then it looks, it it's kind of tricky. So I have to be careful what I say. But I mean, I think it. There's a good chance that it could be in. Now, there's no guarantees that it's in, right? And when I say bottom, that doesn't mean absolute bottom. That means a local bottom. So, for example, we have one, two, three, four, five. All right. So let's say we got a 5 wave move. Okay. So here's your local bottom. Now let's see we come up in a retrace and we get a bounce, right? But that doesn't mean once we get to the retrace levels, we could come back and break the low, right? Because it's all about the retrace. It's not about tops and bottoms, guys. The top doesn't matter, the bottom doesn't matter. It's about the retrace because the retrace determines the trend, right? That's why this area is very difficult because you're in the middle of a retrace, right? When you're down here, I mean, there's really, we're going up, right? Now we're up here. We have 5 waves, one, two, three, four, five, right? We saw Bitcoin MACD crossover. We pretty much, this was the start of the bear market, right? And we started to come down, right? We had one, two, three, four, and then we had five. Look at that. See, the market moves in fives and threes. And then we had divergence here, right? And then we started to, I was hoping that could be a one, two, three, four, five, but you can see we broke the low here. So so it can't be a 1-2, unfortunately. But it sure does still look like an impulse, but you only have 3 waves. That's the issue, right? So you have point A, you have point B, and now you're in point C, right? So that's always the challenge. Does point C continue the trend, right, to the upside, the original trend, or does the crash, right? Because you have a trend going up and you have a trend coming down, but it's not a trend because it's a higher low. But so you should say you have a trend going up and you have a wave going down, and then you have a bounce, and now you're in the middle of that bounce. Now the question is, does this wave continue the overall trend of the primary wave, or is this the start of a crash and this is just so far it's a higher low, but then eventually you're going to get a lower low, right? And in doing so, then you have a 3 wave shape. That's the big thing, right? I mean, anytime you're right in the middle, it's always a challenge to know exactly where it's going to go. But that's why we look at the whole market. And if I were to look at something like XRP, okay, let's look at XRP here. XRP tells me that we're not in the retracements anymore. All right. This is why I like XRP. This is why XRP is my biggest holding, because XRP doesn't have to deal with all the other crap that most of the other coins had to deal with. Right. So, for example, if I put on, I don't know, Theta, we can see right here that Theta. And then I'm also going to put on XRP to the side here. And if we look closely, you could see, right, side by side here. Let me actually remove all of this so it's not in the way. There we go. So they both have a rise. They both have a big bull market. They both have a crash, okay? XRP has a retracement. Theta has a little bit of a retrace. But then here's where it totally changes. Right, XRP came down, Theta's going down as well. But then XRP went sideways for 2 years, 2.5, 3 years. Right? Does that mean Theta is going to go sideways for 1 to 2 to 3 years? I don't think so. But the reason why XRP did this is because of, obviously, we had two things here. We had, number one, the lawsuit coming in right here. We failed to get out, and then we had to deal with the big bear market of Bitcoin after it hit 70,000. So the bull market ended in the retrace. So, and here's the retrace here. So is it the bull market over? Right? And now most of the coins have, because not just Theta, right? I could go to HBAR. HBAR has the same problem. The problem is the retrace, right? This is the retrace, right? So you have rise, crash, retrace, rise, crash, retrace. This is the retrace. So, if you look at XRP went into a retrace, but it came down, and then it went into reaccumulation. And now look where it's at. Now it's up here. Now it's above the retrace level, and it's challenging the all-time high. That is why XRP is so incredibly bullish. But HBAR, right? Does that mean HBAR is going to go with it if it breaks out? I don't know. I mean, you would think so, but here's the problem. You're right in the retrace levels. So either this is the challenge, right? You have point A, point B, point C. Okay, this is the challenge. Number one, you could flag out and you can break out easily, right? And this could be a 1-2, and then we have a 1-2-1-2, and then another 1-2, and then that's a very bullish count right there, right? That's the idea. Or so you flag out and go. So or you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, and then you come up in a B like this, and then you have to come down in a C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a C. And basically, it's a big crash. And if we're going through an economic transition out of the old unbacked fiat monetary system into a new digital gold-backed crypto system, there's probably going to be a lot of turmoil, right? There's going to be a lot of chaos. So that would make sense, having some major crash. And it wouldn't be HBAR's fault. It's not because HBAR is weak or HBAR sucks. It's because all of the markets are sucking on the same liquidity line as the stock market and everything else, right? And if that liquidity gets sucked up from global markets because of A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z for whatever transitional reason, then you can see a big decline here, right? But then after that, right, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, A, B, C, there's your 2, and then we would go up massively for a third. So here's the thing. No matter what happens, we win. Okay? I'm going to say that again. No matter what happens, we win. We will win. You will win. If you're invested in crypto, like XRP, ADA, HBAR, XLM, Algo, maybe even Bitcoin and Ethereum to some extent. And then not to mention, you got Theta, you got Theta Fuel, you got Matic, Filecoin. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. Near Protocol. And then you get to some of the other ones like maybe like Axelar. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, right? And we could just look at all of these coins in here. I mean, ICP is a good one, I think. AVAX is a good one. Aave is a good one. DOT is a good one. CRV is a good one. QNT is a good one. Render is a good one. Litecoin, definitely. Fetch is definitely a good one. Jupe, I think, could be a potential contender. Some of them have a lot more risk than others. VeChain is also very, very good, I think. And I think they're going to have ridiculous, amazing futures. The future of crypto is going to be amazing. So we're going to win no matter what. The question is, when? Does it happen soon? Does it happen later in life? Does it happen in the next year? Does it happen? Here's what I believe. I believe without a shadow of a doubt, it will happen during Trump's presidency. I don't know exactly when, right? So, and here's the options. Either we're going to go up for one more wave. Here's the bullish option. I'll give you the extremely bullish option. We go up for one more wave, or even maybe 4 or 5 like that. And it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Until we get to summer. And then we flag out, and during summer, we have a big summer pullback. And then at the end of the year, right, starting 2026, we come up, we hit one more high. That's the ultimate bullish situation here. Or, so the second bullish, right, not as bullish, but it's the same thing. You get one more hit, but that's it. That's all we get, and then it's over for a while until whatever. Right, so those are the two options. The bearish option is either you get the super bearish option is you get 1 up here, and then you get A, B, and then you come down for C, and then you go up. You basically take out this low. And if you take out this low on HBAR, everybody's going to flip out like complete, and because not only HBAR would be breaking the low, but everything would be breaking the low, right? And people would just completely flip. But guess what? We would still win. Even if it's the most bearish option on the table, we will still win. And you can say, how's that possible? Because if we did get a crash like this, it would be insanely bullish. You could say, well, wait a minute. How does that make sense? Wouldn't a crash be bearish? Yeah, but that means, okay, I'll give you an example. Look at this. We had a big pump to the upside. Look at this. HBAR went up all the way up, freaking 6,000%. Bullish, right? No, it's bearish. Why is it bearish? Because that's the top, and now we're coming down, right? And then basically, you take this whole wave here, you cut it in half. Look, that's exactly where you came. The halfway point. So even if it is the most bearish scenario on the planet, we still are going to have an amazing alt season or a big bull run. You just have to believe in the utility of the coin that you're holding, right? So in this case, it would be HBAR, or let's go to XRP now. So the reason why I like XRP a million times better is because XRP is not right here, it's over here, right? It already went through the retrace. It went down into reaccumulation. It went sideways for a year. It went sideways for another year. It had the liquidity grab. It had the big breakout. It's challenging the all-time high. I mean, there's so many things that say that XRP is going to continue higher. Now, does that mean we have to pull back a little bit? Maybe. Does that mean we have to pull back a lot? Maybe. But I don't think a lot. I think, if anything, we would have to pull back to $1.50 or $1.30. Right? If we lose $1.30 and we come down to, like, let's say this high here, the breakout level of 75 cents, is all hope lost? No. Are we still going to win? Yes. It's just going to take longer, but it'll still happen. But I highly doubt that will happen. So now, I shouldn't say I highly doubt, because anything's possible. And again, this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. So always know that, because we're not in a regular trading environment. We are in a extremely intense environment. I mean, there's so many different chess moves moving. I mean, you got the economy, you got this. I mean, there's so many things happening, especially with this administration. So there's always like, well, what's going to happen here? Especially when you're trying to defeat the very system that created all the corruption in the first place, right? The unbacked fiat monetary system, the central banking monopoly system over the right to print, over the right to, I mean, it's just insane how everything is playing out. And crypto is the solution, right? So it just because it's the solution doesn't mean it's going to come out right away. So I still think we're going to flag out in here, and I think we're going to hit one more high. And then we can get a big crash or whatnot. So that's really what I'm trying to figure out. Do we get one more high and then we have a big crash / transition? Right? Because it's really about the Fed. The Fed wants to crush the economy so that they can usher in their new system and blame everything on Trump, right? The tariffs, everything, they're going to blame it on Trump. That's why I think Trump is in a hurry to get the crash done now rather than later, so that it pushes the blame, it pushes less blame on him and more blame on Biden. When it's reality, it's probably going to be the Fed. But I think another reason he wants it to crash is so that the Fed will come out and have no choice but to lower rates. And then once they lower rates, then he wants to refinance the debt. And once he does that, I think then he can reintroduce the gold standard, because I think that's what he's going to do. I think Trump, and this is a prediction, I think Trump's going to come out and he's going to say enough is enough with these central banks. Look what they did in 2008. Look what they did in the Great Depression. Look what they did in the 70s when they took you off the gold standard. You can say, oh, Nixon did that. Yeah, but Nixon was bought and paid for by the central banks. He was lobbied by the banks. So it wasn't really Nixon. All right. It was the banks. They wanted that. They wanted that system, right? Wall Street, right? It's all about, that's what it is. It's the Wall Street banks and the central banks. So they control everything. They control the entire world. They control all the liquidity. They control all the politicians. That's why we see so much turbulence, because with Trump, they don't really have the control that they need. Right? Because they know that the current system is failing, and they want to bring us into the central bank digital currency system, right? And they use crypto as like, hey, we're cool with crypto, but it's really not. But Trump already said, we're not doing that. We're not doing the central bank digital currency. So if we have a crisis and they introduce that currency, Trump's going to say, no, what do you think is going to be the alternative? It's going to be gold. It's going to be crypto. And that's when we can probably shine. So the way I have no idea how it's going to play out. All I can look at is the chart involving XRP, and my belief has always been this is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation sideways. We're right at the all-time high. We're flagging out. We're going to break out. We're going to hit $8, $9, $10. That's what I believe. That's what I still believe. That's what I still believe. If we break below this, then I'm going to be pretty sad, but I don't think I still think XRP will succeed no matter what. So if we have a big crash, we're still gonna succeed. We're still gonna win, because crashes. Look how fast COVID happened. This was a big crash right here. Okay, look at this. Here's an extreme example of capitulation right here. That was a massive crash. Doesn't look like it, but look at this. This was another massive crash. But let me explain something. What happens when you have a massive crash? It's called capitulation. What happens when you have capitulation? It marks the bottom. What happens when you have the bottom? You start going higher and higher and higher and higher. All right? So if we have, remember, C19, the world was closing down. It was scary, right? I was so excited because I got to get off work and I got some cheap Bitcoin at the time. But most people were freaking out like, okay, yeah, crypto's kind of done for. Nobody has money for toilet paper. How are they going to have money for crypto? All of these narratives coming out like, no. It's super bullish, right? If you have a crash, it's super, super bullish, right? But most people, when you have a crash, they get super bearish. But that's when you want to get super bullish. So since we had a big pump, you want to be a little bit bearish, but you want to be also, cautious, right? Because we don't know if this is an extension of another wave. And I think it could be, right? Or if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we're coming down for A, then we got to come up for B and a retrace, then we got to come down for C, then we can go up and hit that number. But let's say that doesn't even happen, all right? Let's say the stock market crashes, right? And all the mainstream media is prepping the recession narrative, recession, right? Okay, they blame it on Trump, and let's say we have a big crash. Boom, we come all the way down like that. We have a big crash like this, right? Like this, okay? Like this. We have look at how many times has XRP crashed? A lot. Okay, we have a big fat crash. Maybe it's the biggest crash of all, right? It's a massive crash. Okay, if that happened, would you be bullish or would you be bearish? Now your feelings inside, because it's all psychology. It's your brain. It's your brain. All right. It's all how you feel. So your portfolio would be down massively. Your sentiment would be completely just done. And you would feel all hope is lost. But it's at that very moment when your portfolio is completely creamed, when all hope is lost, when everybody on Twitter is saying we're going lower, when everybody is saying the bear market is here, everybody's on the same side, and if you even say anything bullish, you get slammed down, right? You have your big crash. What do you think's going to happen? We're going to be super bullish. We're going to be insanely bullish. Why? Because at that moment, you have capitulation. Capitulation just doesn't come down, and you just completely die, right? A crash is like this. If you crash like this, then the coin is dead, right? The coin is dead. But there's no way that would happen. There's just no way. There's so much. The reason why is because it would happen. It has a better chance of happening to ADA than it does XRP. Why? Because if you look, ADA doesn't, or XRP has the rise, has the crash, has the retrace, and then it came down into reaccumulation, and then it went sideways, and now it's up here. So look at all of this structure that ADA just built, right? So you have all of the structure in here, all of the structure. Years, 7 years worth of structure, which means what? Which means it's very sustainable, right? So if we did have, this is why you go through torture. Why do you go through all that torture? Because that is your safety net, right? The more torture you experience in a range, the more insurance policy you have if we get a big crash. Because a lot of coins, like if you look at SUI, there's no structure. You look at Solana, there's no structure, right? You look at Litecoin, you got a lot of structure in Litecoin, right? You got a lot of structure in XRP. You don't have that much structure in Theta because you don't have all of this and you don't have this, right? So the risk is a lot higher. That's why I would rather be here in XRP. And that's why I am in XRP. And that's why I haven't traded swapped any of my XRP, because I want to see it break out first, right? But I'm just letting you know, if we get a big crash, you're still gonna win. All right. People think, oh, we crash, we're screwed. No. Okay, if you have 10,000 coins right here, and then we crash down here, guess what? You still have 10,000 coins. It didn't disappear. You still have those coins, right? And what do you think happens when you crash? What happens when you crash? Well, look over here. Here's a big crash. What happened? You got to retrace. Every time you crash, you get a retracement. Okay? So let's say your $10,000 was worth, let's say it was worth 20 grand, okay, at $2. And then we crash down to $1. Now it's only worth 10,000. All right? But this is still the same. All right? So, do you sell it because it's crashing? Or if it's already in the middle, or if it's already done, right? You could sell it if you get it before the crash. But if you sell it, you have to make sure that it is going to crash, because if it doesn't, then you just sold your XRP for no reason. So let's say we get down here, right? And we don't crash. We do crash. What do you think's going to happen? Now you have 10,000 XRP, you had 20 grand, but now you only have 10 grand. What do? Everybody's sad, everybody's panicking, everybody's capitulating, everybody's saying it's going lower, everybody on Twitter saying this, it. What? No, everybody is wrong. Why? Because you go into a retracement. All right? So if you have a big crash, you're going to have a retrace. So it's not the first crash that you have to worry about. It's the second crash you have to worry about. So if you're going to have a legit crash, like this was a crash, right? But look what happened. You came back up, and instead of having the final crash, you had a higher low and you went sideways for 2 years. That is why I was bullish on XRP. Because if you're bearish, and you have a crash, and you have a pullback, you would have a continuation. But you did not have a continuation. You had 3 down, you had 3 up, you had 3 back down, you had 3 back up, and then you had 3 back down. You had an A, B, C, D, E. You had a contracting triangle. It broke out. So we're waiting for continuation. If the price has to come back down, to $1 or whatever, it's still going to be massively bullish long term, right? You got to think long term. Crypto, everybody wants to be rich yesterday, right? But we have to go by the market, right? If we don't get big green candles to the upside, we don't get paid unless you're trading short, right? But I would imagine most people don't. Most people trade long. So this video, a lot of people aren't feeling good. A lot of people are just like, man, this sucks. But I'm just letting you know, no matter what happens, and if all you got to do is this, all you got to do is hodl. And if you can hodl longer than anybody else, that means you win. Remember Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast on YouTube? Okay. He had a video, like last one, you had like 20 guys in a circle, and they were all in the circle. And last one to leave the circle gets like $1 million. But then the circle got smaller, and it got smaller, and it got smaller, right? You know what I mean? So the last person to leave the circle won. So think about that in crypto. All crypto is, guys, is a Mr. Beast game. But you actually get to win the game, right? All crypto is a Mr. Beast game. Mr. Beast, if you're listening to this, which I statistically highly doubt, you'll understand. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. No matter what happens, you will win if you just hold, right? And again, if we do crash, if we have a major crash, you're still going to win. Why? Because the chart is still saying higher, right? It's still saying higher. The reason why is because look at what happened over here, right? But then you could say, well, what if things get so bad that, well, then we have other problems to worry about, right? We don't have crypto to worry about. We have, to find food. We have to worry about surviving at that point. You know what I mean? So I don't think again, Trump said we're going through a transition. He was asked, do you think we're going to have a recession? He goes, I don't like to say things like that. Usually he's like, oh no, we're gonna be this and this and that. But he said, no, I don't like to predict things like that. That means we're having a recession. That means we've been in a recession. We've been in a recession for the last year. But they don't want to say that because the media was told because we were under Joe Biden. They were instructed not to say we were in recession. But now Trump's here. Now they're turning the recession thing back on. Now people are getting worried. But guess what? Things are actually getting better to a certain extent. But Trump cannot fix the computer unless you replace the hard drive. And what that means is Trump can't fix the economy unless you have a new financial system. But in the meantime, while that's being worked on, because that's the ultimate secret. That's the biggest secret right now, is what that financial system looks like. No reporter will ever ask him. Jesse Waters won't ask him. Hannity won't ask him. Tucker won't ask him. Those guys are totally politically correct. They don't ask real questions like me and you would ask, involving the financial system. Like if I can ask Trump, I'd say, look, why are we in this Federal Reserve central banking system? It's caused all of this havoc. Just look at the Great Depression. Look at the 2008 financial crisis. Look at the stock market, the dot-com bubble. I mean, look at everything. Basically, you get a boom and bust cycle, boom and bust cycle, boom and bust cycle. And the way they do that, they call it the business cycle, right? The business cycle. That is a scam designed to siphon money off the American people. And it's all baked into the cake of the corrupt system that we see today. That's why I don't doubt for 1 minute crypto will be shot down and dead, because they've already announced. I mean, think about it. XRP is the most bullish chart on the planet. There's no chart that looks like XRP, right? If you look at ADA doesn't look like anything like XRP. Look how much structure XRP has. Okay, that's a lot of structure. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 ankle joints of structure, right? Actually 7, because you have this wave here. So you have 6 or 7. All right. Now you go to HBAR. You got 1, 2, 3. What would you rather have? Something that has 3 or something that has 7? 7. Because there's more structure. Meaning what? More support. What does more support mean? Less risk. Meaning less risk. That doesn't always mean less reward, though, by the way. So anyways, that's kind of my rant for today. Just know it. Look, it's frustrating, but it's actually, look, we haven't moved. You could say, well, XR, we had a big dump, but look at the chart. Look at the chart. What has changed? Nothing. Look here, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, right? So this could still be a rise, a crash, a retrace, reaccumulation sideways. We're going sideways. What happens after we go sideways? We break out. If we don't break out and we break down, guess what? We still win. Why do we still win? Because eventually we will go back up. And if we don't go back up here, maybe we'll go back up here. And if we don't go back up there, then maybe we'll come back up another time. No matter what, we will win. You got to have the conviction of the asset you hold, right? So if you know XRP is going to be used for X, Y, and Z, and you know, because look, we still have regulations coming. We still have an XRP ETF coming. We still have the freaking lawsuit, guys. Why haven't they dropped the lawsuit? They dropped it with Coinbase. They dropped it with Gemini. They dropped it with this. They dropped it with that. Why haven't they dropped it with Ripple? I think because Ripple doesn't want them to drop it quite yet. I think there's a strategic reason why they haven't dropped the case. All of those things is called ammunition. Ammunition for the bulls, not the bears, right? What do the bears have in terms of ammunition? FUD, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, okay? But if you can see it, and the only reason someone would have fear, uncertainty, and doubt is because they're emotionally involved with the price rather than looking at it from a strategic long-term perspective. And they're totally easily convinced that the bad guys are going to win. No, the good guys are going to win. The good guys, Trump and the Patriots, versus the deep state and the central banks. I mean, this was all planned out years and years ago, and we're seeing it unfold now. So we don't know exactly when the deep state is going to strike, when Trump is going to strike. And when I mean strike, I mean what happens with the stock market. Let's look at the stock market here. SPX. Okay, if you look at the stock market, you have a pretty big dump here, but it still has a higher low. Right? Now, if you had something massive like that, that would be capitulation, So here's the way I see it. I don't think we break this low. I think we hold this low. Right? So you have a little box right in here. You have some support in here. Right? So if we're going to crash, we would crash down here, have capitulation. But guess what happens after that? You come back up in a retracement, or even another all-time high, right? Look at the stock market. Look how many times it's crashed, but look how many times it's went up, right? I mean, this thing goes back 100 years, all right? I mean, I got to go to the 6-week chart just to even grasp how long this goes back to 1871, man. I mean, that's a long time, and we're constantly going higher. I mean, look at this thing. I actually need a freaking higher time frame than that. So let's go to the 8-week chart. There we go. And what's this? Okay, I want that. And what is this here? Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, anyways. Yeah, this thing is it real or is it fake? Right? You basically have, for over 100 years, you're going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Does that mean the stock market has been more valuable? No. What that means is there's more liquidity, there's more money creation, right? It's all about money creation. And when you create money out of thin air, you put it into a stock market, and then it pumps the price up, and then you can leverage that money and make even more money. It's all a scam. And that's how the rich get richer. That's how these people have so much money, so much wealth, is they figured out the secret. And that's why I believe we figured out the secret in terms of crypto, because this I don't know if that's sustainable. It's definitely not sustainable in a gold-backed system. If we transition from a fiat system to a gold-backed crypto system, that means everything is tied backed one for one, right? So if I have $10, that means that $10 bill is backed by $10 worth of gold, okay? So it's going to be a lot harder for me to leverage that $10 worth of cash, but it's really worth of gold, because you know, let's say I want to leverage it 10x. Well, that's now $10, that's $100, right? But where's the 100? Okay, so if I leverage it to $100, where's the $100 worth of gold? It doesn't exist because it wasn't created, right? Because that's what leveraging is, and leverage only works in an unbacked fiat system, and that's how these monsters have. I just wish I knew the secret a long time ago, and I could have dominated the space. But we're already at the transitional phase, and that's why I don't even look at the stock market. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. To me, it's all about what crypto is going to do, because crypto is an actual thing, right? A stock is what? A certificate, right? But crypto is an actual thing that I can buy, that I can hold, that I can send, that I can receive, that I can, you know, have a password to, right? And not only that, but it's used for other reasons as well. What is a stock certificate used for? Nothing. The stock market is bogus. It's just an instrument used by hedge funds and retirement, right? This is everybody's 401k in here. This is your retirement. This is your pension. This is all that, right? And the reason why the reason why this is the tulip mania, right? When Bitcoin first came out, I talked to my brother-in-law, and he's a genius. But is he really a genius? Because what I'm about to say is, I don't know, maybe he's not so much of a genius. Maybe I'm the genius, because look who was right. Back then, Bitcoin was $6,000, and we were at the beach, and I asked him about Bitcoin, and I don't see him often. I see him maybe once every couple of years, and I asked him about Bitcoin, and this guy's smart. I mean, he's got his MBA. He went to business school in France. I mean, this guy, he's pretty smart. He's pretty damn smart. He's basically, what does he do? When businesses need help, he comes in and helps them. That's the kind of guy he is. And I asked him about Bitcoin, and it was at 6,000. He goes, I don't. Well, he goes, it's fun, it's cool. You can just don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Blah blah blah. He goes, it's probably like the tulip mania, and maybe he's right. But now Bitcoin's what? It hit 100 grand back then. But then he said, well, the stock market is really what you want to be in, because that has stood the test of time. And that's true. But this whole thing is inside of a banking system, is inside of a fiat system, right? So, you know, back over here when the Fed was created back in 1913, look what happened, right? You had your first big bubble, okay? And then you had the 1929 stock market crash. But what happened after it crashed? That was literally the best time to get into the stock market, when you had the big 1929 crash. What I'm saying here, guys, is if we have another big crash, don't you think that's going to be one of the best times to get in? Maybe. We'll see. I think there will always be a stock market. I just don't know how it's going to be valued if our currency system is different. So, I mean, it's just so much speculation. It's not even worth me trying to get into. But, I mean, then you have things like gold here, right? And would I rather own XRP or gold? I mean, look at gold. Gold's been just jacked up. And to me, I'd rather hold XRP. I mean, look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, right? Let's look at XRP. Is it here or not? But XRP, there we go. And it's on stupid log scale, linear scale. It's going to be harder to read, but yeah, I don't like that. All right, whatever. So, all right, enough of that. Let's look at Bitcoin here. And let's see what's going on here. See, and I'm not just a TA channel, right? I like to have conversations about things that really matter. And, you know, because we all want to be successful, we all want to be rich. That's why we're all here, right? Let's just pretend that is, let's understand that that is the case, right? So, and we're all trying to figure it out, right? And the only way you figure it out is you got to talk about it. You got to say, okay, well, if Trump's going to do this, then how does this work? If Bitcoin is right here, then how does this, you know, there's things you want to converse about. And if there's anything you want to add, please drop it in the comment section, and maybe we'll chat about it. So I like Bitcoin here. Again, you got a three-wave move. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's technically nothing's wrong with Bitcoin. I mean, look, you're still higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And look, you flag out, you break out. You flag out, you break out. Look, all we're doing is we're flagging out. And the way you know we're not flagging out is this right here. Okay, so look at this. See how this started like 3? Okay, that's how this is starting. All right, so what happens after you get 3? You come back up. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, the question is, once you get back up into the retrace levels, because that's what it's all about, retrace, what happens then? Right? Do you flag out and go, or do you have to come down and make another low like this? Come down, make another low like that. And then look what again. Then we came up again, and we tried it again, and we couldn't do it. We had another retrace. Bam! Slammed back, we came back up and then made another low. And then that's when we started going. And then that's when we started going. So you had all of these break and fake outs, you know? But eventually you got going, right? So right now, all we have is a 3-wave move. And that's the same thing here. You have a 3-wave pullback. And then you started going up. You had a 3-wave pullback. Started going up. You had a you had a WXYXZ, right? It's a triple pullback, and then you had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This could be 4 and 5, and if that is 4 and 5, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A. We're gonna come up in 3 for B, and then come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C, and then have one more wave to the upside, hopefully. So we don't really know, right? Okay, so if Bitcoin is crashing, like people are saying, right? What happens after a crash? You get a retrace. Okay, so that's the question. What does the retrace look like? Does it go up in 5 waves? Right? Does it go up in 3 waves? Right? Does it go up does it have like an inverse head and shoulders down here? Does it have an ascending triangle? Does it have an Elliott wave triangle? I mean, you know, there's a lot of different ways the price can move back into the retraced levels, right? Like, or does it, you can see right here, basically we shot straight up and then we failed. But then once we did it again, we actually took the high and then we continued. So here's what I really, really, really like about Bitcoin. Now let's get into the fun stuff. And I really don't have much time left, but let's jump into the fun stuff now. All right, so I think Bitcoin looks actually pretty good here. The reason why is because I have 5 waves, right? I have an A, B, C, all right? So if this is the C, then I have to focus on this wave. And what do I want to look for when we look at this wave? We want to look for 5 waves. And then we also want to look for bullish divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. And then we also want to look for an impulse off the low and then a 3-way pullback. And then you have all the steps you need to bake that cake. All right. So we have 1. How do I want to count this? I mean, yeah. So you can look right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. ABC, that's, whoops, let me do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 1, that's 2, okay, And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. That's 3. Okay. And then we pump up in 3 waves up. That's 4. Okay. And then we have 1, 2, 3. The question is, do we get 4 and do we get 5? Okay. And then you have triple divergence down here. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse off the low. Then you flag out and then you go. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. That's what I'm thinking. And here's your 5th wave down there. So, or it's going to be, or maybe the low's in now. And what we have, guys, is a, well, we have 3. We have a 3-wave move. Or we basically have an ABC for the last part of the wave. ABC down here. Right? ABC. Okay? ABC. Right? And then here's your 3rd wave. And then here's your 5th wave. Yeah, so I don't really know if this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. We'll see. So do we have bullish divergence? Yes. Is it strong? Hell yeah, it's strong. Look how strong it is. I mean, that's freaking strong bullish. I mean, look at that. You're way the hell down here and you're way up. That's a big incline right there. A lot of times, let's see if I could find another example. Here's some bullish divergence right here, but look how shallow it is, right? And you can see the divergence came up, it took it out, but then it came back and took it down. You had another low, and you had even more divergence in here. So, the all-time high for Bitcoin is about 109,000, 110,000. So, yeah, if we have to have another wave down, then I would imagine we would have to come down here and back test, 75, 73K. So then it would look like this. We would have A, B, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would have, let's see, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An ending diag for the 5th wave, right? That would get us down to the back test zone, then create a little bit of a base, maybe 3 up and then 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, big move up, flag out, move your way up, kind of play around a little bit up here, and then go for the break. So that could take some time, what I had drawn there. And that is actually a really good idea. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, guys. So I believe we're going to come back up to about 95K. At least. All right? About 95K. So the question is, all right, if this is a crash, which, by the way, it's not a crash because we don't, I mean, yeah, technically you have 5 waves, but it's part of an expanded flat. So if we have to come back up here in a retrace, right? So if I had a bunch of Bitcoin, would I sell it now? No. When would I sell it? In the retrace. You never sell in a crash. If you're crashing, you do not sell unless you're at the beginning of a crash. But you have to know, you have to have confidence that it is the beginning of the crash, and most people don't. Right? So you don't sell in a crash, right? You wait. I'm talking about spot positions here, not trades. You wait for the retrace, and then if you want to sell it, you can sell it. And that's what people do. They let the market come down because they know it's going to retrace, and then they can get out of the 618. So where is the 618? Right? And where was all these confluence made in here? So let's see. I'm not sure if I want, this is the retrace level. Yeah, so it's right where that line is. The 618 comes in at 96 to 98K. So I'll just put it right there. So that's going to be the area, right? So if someone wanted to sell, like the big guys, if Michael Saylor wants to sell, he's not going to sell here. He's going to wait for it to come back up and then sell. And then that's when you get the real crash. This is not the real crash. All right? The first crash is never the real crash. Okay? When you have a big crash, this is not a crash, by the way, it's a pullback, but let's say it's a crash, right? You wait for the retrace, and then from here, you can either go into reaccumulation and break out, you can flag out and break out, or you can have the real crash. But this is where you would get out if you believe that crash is coming. This is where you would get in if you believe it's going to go up. So buying in the retrace level is always very risky. That's why I wait for an ABC. I wait for 5 waves down. I'll buy it here. I will buy it down here, right? For example. So that way, once we get a retrace, I can hold it and I don't have to sell it. And then for whatever reason, we break out, great. We go into reaccumulation, whatever. Or if we have a big crash, well, guess what? Then it gives me time to get out because we're crashing. I got in here. We're crashing, right? It'll just trigger my stop loss. I'll get out and then it'll keep crashing, you know? Or you can even come down and make a double bottom like this and then do something like that. All right, let's go back to XRP. Damn, XRP's up to 219. Look at that. See how crypto can change really fast? All right, so XRP, I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit, but I'm still looking at this like a flat A, B, C, okay? I just don't know if this is a 1 and this is a 2, or actually, it can't be that now. This would be a 1, and this would be 3 down, okay? This would be 3 up, and now we got 3 back down. That's actually really, really bullish, guys. Think about that for a minute. We have an impulse. We have 3 waves down. We have 3 waves up, and we have 3 waves back down. That is a 3-way pullback. Boom, boom, and boom. It's a weird-looking 3-way pullback, but it is. Okay, so we have 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3. So what happens now? You should get 3 waves up or 5 waves up. So a 3-wave move back up or a 5-wave move back up. Right? That's what I would think. Or if it's very bearish, then you have a crash. You have a 3-wave pullback. And this is the start of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to go 5. And then what we're going to do is go into a retrace up here and then have the big crash. So which one's it going to be? I don't know. We'll find out. I still think we can go up. I really think we could. We have major bullish divergence. Let's see. How high does this divergence go up? Look at the 12-hour chart, guys. We have bullish divergence on the 12-hour. Is it on the daily? Yeah. Look at the daily. We got bullish divergence on the daily, guys. I mean, come on. Does the 2-day chart have it? Dude, even the 2-day chart has the divergence. I mean, come on. Look at that. All right. Now, what about the 3-day? I don't think there's no way. There's no way the 3-day chart has it. I just don't think so. Yeah, see, it doesn't have it. See how it had here and then it had a lower low? See that? Okay, so we have as much as 2-day divergence. Is that enough? I think so. Because the way I look at it is, look what you're doing, right? Let's get rid of all of this over here, right? By the way, hit the like button because we're going to go over an hour. Really appreciate that. If you think this video deserves to be watched by other people, hit that like button. It shows, it helps the algorithm. You guys know that. So if you just say that this is a fifth wave, well, look, well, now we're flagging out in here. We're flagging out. We're flagging out. I mean, this is bullish here. Chances are this flag is going to break to the upside massively. So that's how I'm looking at this, guys. Yeah, see how, or this is a 1, 2. This is a 1. It can't be a 2 because we took the high. So it can't be that. It could be a 1 and then a 2 like that. And then this is another 1 and then a 2. And now we're about to go down 3, 4, 5. I just don't think so, though. I think the market has been decimated, right? I mean, just look at here. Okay, now let's go to Theta, or let's look at SHIB. If you look at SHIB, look at the difference between SHIB and XRP. All right, so SHIB should bottom soon, right? I mean, it's been crashing. Look how long it's, guys, look how long it's been crashing. It's been crashing since the beginning of December. So for 3 months, we're going down all of December, all of January, all of February. Now we're in March. So at what point does it end and we go into a retrace? See, that's what it's all about. It's psychologically pushing people to believe that we're just going to keep going down and never stop, right? But think about it. We've been going down for a while now, all right? And if you look at the length of this wave right here, all right, and you take that length and then you take it over here, you could see we still got a little bit ways to go, right? But if I just put it right there and then I put that back there, you can see if you just discount the wicks, we actually made it, right? So we've completely made it there. So if I just take a line from the very top here and take it very to the bottom, close to close, right? And then I go from here. Look, you could see that's guys, this is it. This, I mean, equal lengths, waves of equal lengths. That's what it's all about. Not only that, but you have 3 waves down. Not only that, you have 3 waves up, right? So you get 3 waves up, then you get 3 waves down. What comes next? You get 3 waves back up. I mean, it's pretty simple. Or you get 5 up if we're lucky. So let's look at, is there any sequentials on here? Oh, look at that. We had a 9. What about on the 3-day? Oh, we're on a 9 and it's perfected. Guys, we're on a 9. We are on a 9. Now you could say, well, who cares? We had a 9 over here and it didn't work out. Yeah, that's because you didn't use Elliott wave. Look. We had a 9 here, but it kept going down. That's because that 9 was in the 3rd, right? This 9 did its job because we had a 9 and we pulled up and then it came down. So look, we have 1, 2, 3. The top of the 3rd, we had the 9. Then we had 4. Then we get 5. And look, we have 5 waves down. Plus, we have a 9 at the bottom of the 5th. Okay? Plus, you have the 3-wave pullback. Do we have divergence? No. That's the only thing we don't have is divergence. Because the problem is you don't get divergence because of this wick. If it stayed down there a little bit longer, maybe. But when I go up to the 12-hour chart, you for sure have that. If I go to the daily chart, yeah, you have divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. Plus, you got the 9. So this could be the bottom. I think it's got a really good chance at being the bottom. Now, it's got a lot to prove if it is the bottom, right? So we'll find out soon enough. Or we're going to have more downside, right? But if we did have more downside, where would it go? Well, here's the problem, though. We already have a lot of support, right? This is why I like SHIB. I like SHIB. This is my favorite Meme coin, not because of the meme, but because of the chart. I like the chart, right? It has a really solid base here. Look at all of that price action. That's a long time, right? And we have a move up and we have a move down, and we're back testing in here, right? We're back testing in here. So if this is 3 up and this is 3 down, the sequence is not complete. We still need, and unless this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That would be the difference. Or you get 3 up, but I just highly doubt that, unless we have a massive, just complete stock market obliteration for whatever reason. We know the deep state wants to crash the economy. They want to destroy it. They want to put us in a recession so that they can blame Trump. That's what they want to do. So how many tools do they have to get that done? We'll find out. All right, let's look at Theta. SHIB on the very small time frames. I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, we got a 3-wave pullback, so it could just keep going down. You pump up, keep going down, pump up, keep going down, pump up, keep going down. I mean, but eventually that's not going to be the case. So how's XRP versus Bitcoin doing? XRP versus Bitcoin, I haven't looked at it in a while. Let's see. It looks phenomenal. It looks amazing. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3 up. All right, you got 3 down, and then you got 3 up, so that's 3. So you got a 3-wave move up, right? So you have 3 down, you got 3 up, so maybe we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. And it becomes like a flat like this, and then go up. Maybe so. Or what's better is this is an expanded flat, and then we have a 1, 2, we have a 1, 2, and then we have another 1, 2 here, right? Maybe some kind of accumulation cylinder in here. Get a little bit of pullback and then head on higher. We'll come back to that one. Let's look at, I want to look at Monero, Litecoin, and Theta. All right, so Theta, look at the reversal Theta had. Man, damn, I wish I would have bought that. Oh, come on, you son of a gun. Where is my other Theta chart? There it is. Theta is up 8% today. Not too bad, but it's only a 3-wave move. So, I mean, I would like to see if this could turn into 4 or 5. I don't think so, though. It's probably going to gas out. So maybe we get 3 up and then we get 3 down. And then we can get 5 up. Right? Maybe that's what happens. No, but let's take a real look at this. So Theta had a pretty gnarly crash. I mean, we got back down to where I almost started the channel, back down to 64 cents. I think the low is probably in. All right, it's hard to say that because nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear, yeah, it's going to keep going lower. But when you're when you're pumping, it's going to end. Look at the big pump, and then you get the big crash, it ends, and then you get the big pump, and then it ends, and then you get the big crash, and then it ends, and then so it's not going to stop, right? You get contractions and expansions. You get this is a contraction, but eventually we're going to get a contraction, an expansion. So I think it looks great. I still think it looks great. We got 3 waves up, we got 3 waves down, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in wave C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, 1, 2, 3 B, and then 5 down for C. So let's see if we can create a base. It's only Tuesday, which is good. So I want to see what Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks like. And then we'll go from there. My bet here is that we're going to create some kind of bottom in here, right? And you could see, here's your little base down here. And if we draw that all the way along, right, maybe we might backtest this little area down here. It was never backtested, that little area here. So we broke out, but we never backtested it. It doesn't have to be, but it would be interesting if we did. But my intuition is that we go back into a retrace. So that's what I'm thinking. We're going into some type of retracement, but we have to find the bottom, right? So back over here, right here, I said that this could be a good bottom, right? But we didn't really have 5. And then we kind of got 5, and it was all about the bottoming process. But then we had another big move down, which was this move here. So clearly that was not the bottom. So, after that, people think, well, since it didn't bottom here, and since we had this big crash here, that means that it has to crash way, 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 way more. And that's not the case. All it means is we're statistically even more likely to be finished than we were before. I just don't really like all of this in here. I mean, you can see it's moving down in 3, right? You got 3 down, you got 3 up, you got 3 back down, 3 back up, 3 back down. So, and this looks like capitulation. It looks like you had a big spill. So, I think the low will hold at least until the weekend. That's what I'm thinking. Unless we're gonna go, we're gonna keep rocking down this Sunday. Chainlink, I just don't really like it as much, but it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, or actually 1, 2, all of that's 3, 4, and 5, but I don't like that either. Doesn't really, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 down. Okay, so we could probably have 3 down, you have 3 up, and then you have 3 back down. It could be done. So, sequential, you're on a 9. Are you on the 9 on the daily, 2-day, 3-day, 4-day? No. 5-day? You're on an 8 on the 5-day chart. That's interesting. And not only that, but the 9 actually called the top for the 5-day chart. So maybe the 9 calls the bottom. We'll see. We're gonna get a 9 buy on the 5-day chart on Chainlink in 3.5 hours. That doesn't mean it instantly goes up. It just means that it could take a little bit of time to get moving here. The last time we had a 9 buy was over here, but that one didn't work out because you were in the middle of this move. So let's keep looking here. Ethereum is about to get a 4-day 9. It looks definitely oversold on the 3-day chart, on the 2-day chart. I mean, we haven't been this oversold on the 2-day chart since July of last year. So I think we're getting close to a and then you look at the fear and greed index. It's fear, 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 fear. Eventually that it turns around, all right? So what's going on with XLM? XLM looks pretty nice to me. So you can see how you get these 3-wave pullbacks, right there, and then you pop up, you flag out, and then you go, right? So that's the same thing here. You have this nice three-wave pullback. So we want to pop up, we want to flag out, and then we want to go. And that's what we need to, that is the first step, is getting a 5-wave move off the low. Do we have any 9s here? No 9 there. No 9 there. No 9 there. Yeah, so the 5-day chart, you're about to get a 9. So the 5-day chart seems to be doing okay. So yeah, the way I look at this is a beautiful 3-wave pullback. Now, we thought the 3-wave pullback could have ended here because we had 3, but we didn't know that this was going to be 4 and 5. Because you don't know, is it going to be 3 or is it going to be 5 for the C. So, yeah, the RSI has gone back below the 50. And you have extreme hidden bullish divergence, because if you look, this is extreme hidden bullish divergence here. You can see how we're going down like that, and look at this, we're going up. That is hidden bull right there. So I think this is cocking back for another big move up. And what I think, okay, so now so what I think is happening here is we needed to cool off that RSI. Actually, let me bring that down. Let me shoot that up. All right, so what this means is we have a 1, 2, 3. We're flagging out for a 4, and then we're going to go up and get 5. And what that means, guys, is we should get divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. Okay, so this is coming down like this, and then what's going to happen? We get that 5th wave, then the RSI pops up, but then we make a higher low, and then we get that bearish divergence. The same way we get bullish divergence. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen here. So let's see how it plays out. All right, let's look a little bit closer. Algo definitely looks a lot more bearish than XLM. Sells off a lot more aggressively than XLM did. And it looks more like, yeah, you got 5, you got 3, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's not really too interesting. I mean, it's pretty much the same, but it's not as bullish. ADA. Now, ADA is a good one too, because look at that. You had a 12-hour 9. I'm trying to see if there's any. I don't think we're going to get any 9s on here because the trend flipped because of the Trump tweet. But yeah, we got a nice impulse, and we got a 3-wave pullback. I mean, I don't know what else to say there. And now you have a 9, and now you're creating a base. So I think this should come back up and get back to the retrace levels. So if it's going to crash, the best thing for it to do is come back up first and then come down, right? It has to retrace first. So, I mean, it doesn't have to, but that's usually what you would want to see for a short entry. Like if you're going to go into a short entry, would you do it now? No, you would wait for a bounce and then get in. So that's what I think. And then let's look at Monero and let's look at Litecoin. Yeah, I just don't really like this too much, but I think it's getting there. All right, I gotta end this video, so Monero. I like the wick. on the 4-day. I like the 3-day. I like the 2-day. I like the 2-day. Yeah, I think, yeah, nothing's really changed a whole lot, obviously, right? It's only been a day. But here's one thing that did change is we got a 9 on the 12 hour. Look at that, man. Shoot. We had a 9 on the 20 hour. We had the 9 on the 12 hour, and we had a 1 above that 9. That's amazing. But the problem is you have like a head and shoulders in here, and you have all of this resistance in here, and you're getting rejected. So if this gets rejected, you can have a big move down. So you have a lot of big, heavy rain clouds above you, right? And it's going to be hard to get through that. I still think, you know, we have a flat here, boom, boom, and now we're kind of flagging out in here. You can see, right? So here's your A, here's your B, and then here's your C right there. So this is your 3-wave move. It's a running flat. What I like about it is there's a lot of support over here. And this is another reason I really like the chart of Monero, is because it has a lot more structure than the other charts. Just look at the 8-day chart, right? So if I put out XRP, it has the same structure. It has the rise, right? It has the crash. It has the retrace. It came down into reaccumulation. It went sideways for 2.5 years, and now it's back testing the top of this area. So look at all of that structure. That's a lot of structure. And we just broke above it, and we think it's going to just crash. I don't see it from a technical perspective, right? But we do technically could have 5 waves in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what if this is a diag, ladies and gentlemen, and we still have to flag out a lot more? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to flag out in a big ABC. That takes maybe another 4 or 5 months until we get into like October, November of next year, or this coming year, and then we go up. I mean, that is a definite possibility, because we technically have been going up for a whole year. We started going up in 2024. We were going up, all of 2024. So Monero is a little bit exhausted. I mean, it started out at $100 down here. So, and now you're having all of these candles up here. And this is kind of bearish. This is very bearish, actually, because when you flip green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red on this time frame, I don't like that. The only way we can escape that is if this is flagging out and we can break out. So just because the 8-day chart is mega bullish doesn't mean right now we're ready to go. Because again, if this is 5 waves, we might need a big ABC in here to break. Let's look a little closer. Yeah, if you flip the chart upside down, I mean, it could be bearish. I just don't think so. I think, yeah, you had all of this bearishness, right? And then you came down. Here's your line there. So worst case scenario, you have to come back here and then go, and maybe we get $500 or so. And the same coin like that would be Litecoin, right? So let's take a look at Litecoin. So Monero actually had a pretty big pop, right? Let's look at Theta. Theta had a little pop. Monero had a pretty big pop here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, little pullback. So all we have though is a 3-wave move. So I really want to see it turn into a 4 and then get a 5, and then we could get an ABC. If we could get that, that would be amazing. Let's see if we can get it. All right, Litecoin. So I still really like Litecoin. Again, you've been creating this accumulation structure, and now you broke out of it. So let's see if we can keep moving here. I like the ABC in here. Yeah, we got 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's probably a C. And what we have is this whole thing, boom, 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 is a B wave. So we have 3 down, we have 3 up, which is a complex B, and then we get 5 down for C. And that becomes 3, 3, 5, A, B, C. It's a flat. And that concludes the range. And then we build a little base, and then hopefully we can get up here in 5, and we flag out, and then we can break out. So that's what we want to see. That's what I would hope to see for the bulls. Otherwise, I just don't really see any bearish counts. Unless this would be 5 down, we get 3 up, and then we come down in 5. Like that, coming down here. I mean, I guess that would work as well. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. Let's see, the wicks, if we take the wicks off, looks like we're just flagging out. So, nothing too serious yet. Let's see, is there anything else in here? What happened to Theta Fuel under all this carnage? Did it survive? What's up with Litecoin versus Bitcoin? Nothing special. It's pretty much the same as Theta. So, you have 3 waves up, you have 3 waves down, okay? So chances are you're gonna get either 3 waves back up or 5 up, and then this becomes 3. It becomes a bigger 3, right? A more complex B wave. Remember, we were just talking about Litecoin, how it turned into a more complex B wave. And then from here, you could go into reaccumulation, you can flag out, or it could be a C wave and then go. So there's a lot of question marks there, but we're not even there. So why bother trying to figure that out? But yeah, we have our beautiful impulse. We have 5 down, right? This could be 3 up. And then now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for C, A, B, C. And then go up. And that would be pretty devastating. That would be a major correction. But until this low gets broken, I have to assume that this is 3 up, 3 down, and we're going to get another 3 up. So we'll see how that plays. But anyways, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And remember, it's not financial advice. And these are just exploring some ideas here. You know, we have the Great Awakening. We have the financial system coming undone, recession fears, the Great Transition, and it's going to be interesting how it all plays out and how it relates to price, because I'm not worried about the price in 5 years or 10 years. I know in 5 to 10 years is going to be amazing, right? We're going to have so much more work done. But the question that I have is, what happens in the next 6 months to 2 years? That's kind of the unknown, like what's going to happen during that time, right? But the long time, between 3 and 5 years, I'm not even sweating it. But maybe the next 3 to 6 months maybe could be a little bit more interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.